Quite a few years ago, he was a good chaser. Now in France, 9-year-olds are like me, very old. The intention had been to bring him out, was buying him at that age as a Grand National horse. Well, Henderson managed to blow that in 5 minutes. He got put up £16. So that was technically game over. I mean, £16 lower on a fit and well Voltor would have been, if I'd have known that's what he was capable of, would have been fantastic. Now listen, I honestly, we've just got to see. The next time at Cheltenham, he hung very, very badly to his right, and we've just been trying to iron that out the whole way through. We think we're getting there. Obviously on his Ascot run, £16 or not, he's still we've schooled him over the entry fences, absolutely loved them. Darryl got very excited, and it's a little bit hopeful, but you've got to be hopeful when you get to Grand Nationals. We've been hopeful for 40 years, and we're not getting any closer. We were second 40 years ago, been second once since. We need to go one better. We've been very lucky. We've had 7 champion hurdle winners. Funny enough, the Topham, which is sort of 1 and a bit times round, that's easy. I think we've run it 6 or 7 times. We've been unlucky a few times. We've been second twice. We've been third a couple of times. It just seems one of those races. It's even worse actually not having a runner. I hate going there and not having a runner in it, but if you haven't got a horse for it, you can't just invent one. Well, again, poor old Janika, I mean, he's in the Topham, he's in the Melling, he's in everywhere. And again, not quite sure where we're going to go. He'll have top weight in the Topham. His jumping has been exemplary. I think 2 miles 6, or the 2 mile 5 and a bit of the Topham track is probably nearly his ideal distance. And he jumps the right way. Sad thing again, he's had 3 runs in England. He's been second all 3 times, and I think he's gone up something like £26 without winning a race. He's been so consistent. He's a bit like Top Notch, who's in the same ownership that we all love, and is just so rock solid. And those are the sort of horses we all really, really appreciate, because they're just reliable soldiers that'll go and fight for you every day you ask them to. He's been good, we've been happy. I mean, obviously he had a fall. Look, it wasn't a very nice fall, but it's the first time he's done anything like that. But he's such a fantastic hurdler, or jumper of a hurdle. But he does take it to the bare limit. It's very low, it's very fast. But when you cut it to that lowness, that sort of pinpoint accuracy, you've only got to be half a millimetre out, and you can, it's the difference between brilliant and a fall. And unfortunately he got one wrong, because he was a millimetre out, and they fell in what looked to be a very, very winnable champion hurdle. We've got to come back here on the back of that. We're going half a mile, that doesn't worry me. He's won this race before. He seems in good form, so if the weekend goes well, I think he comes in here with a big chance. You probably haven't got an alternative. I don't think there's anything else we can do. He's come out of it very well. It does mean that it'll be his 3rd consecutive race in quite a short space of time. We went Plumpton on the Monday. On the Friday week, he was in Cheltenham in the Triumph Hurdle. It was a very brave shout. We had done it once before with First Bout. The same Plumpton race we used on the way, but he actually had to run again on the Saturday at Newbury. So he had 3 races in 3 weeks, but he won them all very easily. including the Triumph. Pentland did literally come in off one run, which is fairly unique, but he was incredibly professional at Plumpton. And I just thought, Pentland, to be fair, he made a horrible mistake at the first. And my first reaction was, Henderson, that was a very silly thing to do, try and bring him in on one run. He just doesn't know enough. And then all of a sudden, having nearly put Nico through his ears, he picked himself up and galloped off and travelled beautifully throughout the race. We have to go again. There's nowhere else to go. And he's only had 2 runs all year. I can't tell you he's improved. If you've won the Triumph Hurdle, you'd possibly hope. I mean, I think there will be opposition here, because I think that probably the runner-up in the Supreme will come and join in. We have a lovely horse called Fuzzy Raffles, who won the Adonis, and I'm quite keen, and then he got a horrible cut to a hind leg. He had to miss Cheltenham, otherwise I think he would have been an enormous player. So we're probably trying to keep him for Punchestown for the Grade 1 there, and so Pentland quite justifiably comes into Aintree, and he's been very good since too. The one that is Santini's not coming on. He ran a wonderful race when he was second in the RSA, and he's not. We've drawn the stumps there, but we do bring Mr. Whipped into here, who is a top class horse, who unfortunately had a problem after his last run at Cheltenham, and I thought he was out for the season, but we've got back into action. I think this will be one of the best races of the week. He's quite good. Whether he's that good, I'm not sure, but he'll be competitive. I've got an absolute army in the Topham. In fact, if I ran them all, I'd probably take up half the race if they'd get in, which actually would be probably the most clever way of doing it. I think the most likely runners, I would love to run Kilcray Vale. I hope he gets in. He's been placed in it before. 007 has been placed in it before, and I think with the blinkers on, he's a big shout. He ran a great race at Cheltenham, but he just didn't stay. I think if he gets into a rhythm and jumps the fences, and if he enjoys jumping the fences, he did the first year, he didn't last year, but he was very good here the other morning, and I think he's a player. Divine Spear could come into it. We schooled him over the Aintree fences yesterday. He was very, very good. But Kilcray 007, Janika, again, not quite sure where he's going to go, which race he's going to run in. He would have top weight in the Topham, but I wouldn't throw it out.